12th, and I was born on the 27th.
You know, the sad part of it is there's not many of us left. Because you got to be close to my age to have been in that war.
Yeah, 90.
I think
Well, I think
they estimate 3 million, I believe, still.
is there that many left?
But they're it's going like 3,000 a day or something. That's what.
Well, you know, you'd have to be around 85 to have been in the war.
Yeah, I know. I started noticing a lot of stuff on eBay several years ago, from where the vets started, to die, and their families would put their keepsakes on the internet and sell them.
Huh?
There was a flood there for a while.
Oh yeah. I keep in contact once in a while with my old crew on the B-29.
Oh,
yeah, I talked to the tail gunner and the one that operated the what I want to say on the video. It was a prelude to television, really. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, radar.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of the name radar. And radar operator. I'll never forget when we first made our first trip. He called me back. His compartment was right behind the gunner's compartment. He says, "Hey, come on back here. I want to show you something." So I went back there, and on his screen was a picture of that beautiful mountain in Japan, and a snow-capped top. And boy, that thing stuck out like I couldn't believe how beautiful that was
It was on radar.
on radar. It's like watching it on TV. Just that clear. He said, "I want you to see this." And that was on the island, main island in Japan.
Yeah,
What a picture that was.
I bet.
I'll never forget it.
So you had a pilot, the co-pilot.
Started out with the bombardier in the nose. Bombardier,
He was right in the nose.
right in the nose.
And you had a gunner in the nose?
He operated the nose guns.
Oh, okay, so he operated the gun and the bomb.
Bombs and the guns, right. Then we had the pilot on the left, co-pilot on the right. Right behind the co-pilot was the engineer. Behind the co-pilot, up near the chute that we had to go through, was the navigator. Behind him was the radio operator. And then all the way back with the gunnery system beyond the bomb bay doors was the gunnery system. All the gunners. Behind him was the radar operator. Behind him was the tail gunner. That's the way they were in sequence.
And how many would that be?
11.
11 crew members
Uh-huh.
on a plane.
Yep. It's funny how you don't forget that stuff. I knew
Yeah.
exactly where they were. Yep. Stuff just doesn't leave you. I'm 90 years old, and it just seems like yesterday. I can remember everything. Just as clear as can be. And everybody I've talked to says the same thing. They just haven't forgotten anything. Of course, some of them would like to forget, but-
Yeah.
Well, your life was dependent on all those people performing their...
Absolutely, every one of them. Every one of them.
Needed every one of
The
them.
radio operator, the navigator, the bombardier, all of them. You bet.
And the pilot was flying the plane always. Did they have an automatic pilot?
Oh yeah.
They had automatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how they could fly so close together, I guess.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that pilot was so mad at me one day, I think he could have killed me. Really, I'm serious. Number one engine caught on fire, and I was responsible for 1 and 2. And I never saw that sucker until that was going pretty good.
Oh, really?
And boy, I'll tell you what, I got chewed out like you never was chewed out in your life.
You're supposed to be watching it,
Oh yeah,
the engines.
and I missed it. Luckily, we got down. We happened to be close enough to home that we got down with it, and they put it out. But it was white smoke coming out of that sucker, so it was pretty hot.
But could you see flame?
White smoke.
White smoke.
Phew. Boy, he could chew me. Oh my God. How How could you miss that? I mean, everybody's hearing it, see, because everybody's got their earphones on. So I'm getting laced out in front of 11 guys. That's not very pleasant, I'll tell you.
Wouldn't be.
How can he can't see the engine?
No. Oh, no, he couldn't see him. He's ahead of him. No, he's way out in front. They're behind him. I'm supposed to be watching 1 and 2. The radio operator's supposed to be watching 3 and 4.
So that was on your side. You could see the engine pretty.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear them?
No, not that much, really.
You couldn't hear them.
Not that much. Not when you're airborne up there, no. You could hear them, but not that much, you know?
Yeah, but you could feel them.
Oh, yeah. You got 3,500 horsepower there, boy. That's a lot of power.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that. Boy, I'll tell you, he knew how to chew.
He did.
Well, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him at all.
Were the pilots young guys? They were
I was the second oldest guy on the crew.
Is that right?
Yeah. The co-pilot was the oldest. He was 2 years older than me. Now, the pilot was, I think he was 21.
21.
Yeah.
Flying
And I was
pilot.
23. So I was a granddaddy.
23.
No, wait a minute. No. That's not right at all. I was 25.
And
25.
The pilot was 21.
See, the thing was over in 45. And in 45, I was 25. So I was quite a bit older than him. 4 years. Yeah, he was pretty young. But he knew how to chew out.
So where did he learn to fly a plane? How did they get him to? How did they teach him so fast?
I don't know. They had some pretty good schools.
They must have.
Yeah. Now my co-pilot or my engineer was a P-51 pilot, and they made him engineer, and I don't think he was too happy about that. He preferred, I could tell from the way he talked, preferred flying the P-51s, but they made him an engineer. To me, that would be a demotion, really.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't too happy camper, really, because of that. But now he was, I'd say about the third oldest, the engineer. But the co-pilot was 2 years older than I am. So he was 27, the co-pilot. So hell, he was 6 years older than the pilot.
The co-pilot was.
Yeah. He was a good pilot. I always felt pretty secure with both of them up there. They were both good pilots. Well, I remember a few times, though, we get back, and their flight suits would be soaking wet from, nervousness, being nervous. Soaking wet. You could see it all over them. Well, they're responsible for 11 guys,
Yeah. So how high did you fly?
About 20,000.
20,000. So you had to have oxygen. You had to have.
Oh, well, no, we didn't. See, we had it all built up inside. We were the only plane that had self-contained. We could just go around with no oxygen at all. Everything was pressurized.
Just like today.
Yeah.
An airplane.
We were the only plane that was pressurized. As far as I know, and I'm pretty sure I'm telling you the truth on that. The only ones that were pressurized. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a pretty big feature, really. Because the guys on the other planes, like on the 17s, they had to have oxygen mask on. And I hated those things. They weren't comfortable at all. But on the B-29s, you didn't need them. Now, see, they overcome everything, but like they had that big tube you crawled through over the Bombay doors. See, it was all pressurized.
Even in that tube.
Oh, yeah.
But when they opened the Bombay doors.
It didn't bother anything. It was all completely separate.
And what size bombs did they carry?
We carried usually about 10,000 pounds complete. And they were, I can't remember exactly. But I know we carried about 10,000 pounds. That's a lot.
In addition to all the bullets.
Hmm?
In In addition to all the bullets
Oh, yeah.
and armor.
That's a lot of weight. Yeah, when you're fully loaded, that thing's chugging to get off the ground, I'll tell you. You could feel it labor.
And your shell, your covering was fiberglass, or
Yeah,
was it?
yeah.
Did it feel like it was going to fall off or break?
Not really. Pretty heavy. Pretty heavy stuff.
You could see pretty good through it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could. But it was heavy stuff. Supposed to have been bulletproof. I said
Depend on-
supposed to be.
Depending on what kind of bullets were coming at you.
No, to answer your question, I'm not positive how heavy those individual bombs were. All I know is our complete weight when it's fully loaded.
10,000 pounds.
Yeah. That's 5 ton.
Yeah, that's 5 tons.
That takes a lot of power to pull that much.
Yeah, and all the other stuff you got to go with it.
Oh, yeah. 11 bodies.
Yeah. But y'all didn't shoot anything on the ground.
No,
You didn't shoot at anything,
no.
or the only thing would shoot at it would be
Airborne.
airplane coming at you.
Those were the days.
Or the Zero, is that what you had to face?
What's
The
that?
Jap Zero?
What about them?
The Zero, is that what you had to
Yeah.
face?
Yeah, Japanese Zeros.
Did they
Yep.
have any other airplanes besides the
Towards the
Zero?
end of the war, they were getting into what they call them now?
Jet?
Yeah, they're going into jets at the end of the war. Thank God they didn't have them during the war, or we'd have been in trouble.
Yeah, the Germans were getting them too.
Yeah. After the war was over, the Japanese was one of the first ones to have jet planes. They were pretty shrewd people, I'll tell you. Pretty shrewd people. You know, Brenda called just before you came in, said when you all got ready, said, come on over.
You want to go over?
Do you know where she's located?
Yeah, I think.
Did you want to know anything else that you had?
No,
in
I,
mind?
I think that's a great interview.
Yep.
Good
Let me show you
interview.
something here.
Well, I hope I told you the things you
Yeah.
wanted to know about.
It'll be-
I just told you the truth of what I told you was
Yeah.
the way I remember it, you know.
it's now it's recorded for history. Your grandchildren and great grandchildren will be able to see what their grandpa.
Well, that's great. I
Do you
appreciate that.
have any great grandchildren?
Yes, I do. I sure do. See, Lori, Susie's daughter,
Yeah.
she has her daughter has got children.
Really?
Yeah. Her son, he's got a child.
So your great grandpa.
Oh man,
Let me show you.
I'm getting up there.
Bill, I went to Normandy this summer.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, these are
Well, I bet that was
some
quite
of
a
the
trip.
pictures. You ever heard of Aramonches? That's one of the beaches. That's one of the British beaches.
Oh, me darn.